Welcome to What's the Effort?
What the effort?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome. All right. So, as you may notice, I have Robin Hurt on with me and not Justin Birch.
Hi, y'all.
Yeah, that's Robin. Anyhow, so something came up and, Justin wasn't able to make it. So for those of you who are looking to start a podcast, let this be a lesson. Always make sure that you have, people who can help out. So I am eternally grateful to Robin. Thank you very much, Robin, for being my guest today.
And thanks for asking me, Effie. I appreciate the opportunity to say hi to your audience and just spend some time with you.
Well, thank you. Anyhow, I just want to say welcome to everybody. And we are going to talk about SubTo as a whole. Most of you probably know Robin. She's been in for a while, since October 2021. And that was before me, which is pretty cool. Now, how many people were in SubTo, Robin, when you first joined?
I recall the number being right about 4,000, probably a little less, but I remember that being the number in my mind, around 4,000 people.
You were upping it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because up one.
Yeah, by one. Well, let's see. Did you join the beginning of October or at the middle or end?
Toward the end, like 20 something. It might have been the 19th, actually.
Okay.
It could be the 19th.
November, December, January, February, March, April. I joined 6 months after you. And 6 months after, it was just under 4,000. It was 3,900 and something. It was just a tiny touch under 4,000.
Yeah, so we just might have been on our way, I guess, to 4,000. But I remember the number was kind of big, actually. Then it seemed big.
Oh, I could not believe how quickly it was growing and how many people there were.
Yeah, and now look at it. What is it now? Like nearly 14 or 13?
We're up at right now. SubTo is 12,700
and growing daily.
Yes. Absolutely. So, I'm rather interested to, I know we have a few people in the audience already. If you can, tell us how many of us there were when you joined. How many people were there when you all joined? I see there's about a half dozen or so. Drop your numbers in the chat.
Yeah, give us an idea. Let's see the growth. And also when you joined. So the number and when it was.
Right. And let's see who we have. I know that you probably thought you were going to be listening to AI, but here we are. We're talking about
none of that for me. I can tell you that.
All right. So Vince joined in September of 2021, and that was 3,500. Okay. So you guys he joined just a month before you, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Thank you for being here, Vince.
Yes. Hello.
Appreciate you. And I guess it's funny, isn't it? Because when you say, oh, I was under 5,000 or under 6,000, the ones that have just joined, they're like, wow, what was that like? Like they think that was just a few people, but we all thought it was a lot.
Yeah, think of the early days when Pace was actually doing those daily Zooms for multiple hours with those very few people. That's really incredible how much time he was able to spend on individual basis then.
Yeah.
But he gives us a lot of time too.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. He gives us a lot of time. There's no doubt about it. Thank you, Vince. We feel your love. It's important to us. Anyhow, yeah, it is kind of interesting to see just how much he has given out. Well, if you could go back to the beginning of when SubTo started, I would say that he's given a heck of a lot of his life. You know,
Oh, yeah.
you think of how many hours he's been awake, how many hours has he been, you know, coaching and mentoring and on live calls and all things like that. I would say that, you know, most of his life has been given like almost in front of the camera. But
yeah. And
this-
let's take a minute just to acknowledge what a gem he has for a wife. Because not only do we owe appreciation and thanks to Pace for giving to us the way that he does,
Mhm.
but it wouldn't be possible if he didn't have a spouse that wasn't fully supporting him in all of his efforts. I mean, so she's giving to us too, is what I mean.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And she is giving more than to us, right?
Yeah.
Because she is also giving life. I think
Mhm.
today might be the last day when she, you know, before the baby's born.
Yeah,
So
I believe it was today or I heard him say it was this week, and he gave a date, but I remember him saying that she wanted to go golfing 2 days before birth, and that was Sunday. So I think Tuesday might be the day.
wow, that's pretty amazing to say the least. Absolutely.
Mhm.
So the other thing that's interesting is Gator, because when I first met Pace, Gator hadn't started,
Mhm.
and you know, I got in at the very on the very ground floor, and I think you did too,
Yeah,
right?
me too. Yeah.
Yep. And you know, when you think about that, Gators is now at 7.5. It's
OMG.
over.
So look at the length of time for that. I mean, if you compare the growth, I wonder what the percentage is.
It's
That's
faster.
an
It's
yeah,
faster than
faster
SubTo
growth. Yeah.
because it didn't start until I'd say it existed in
Summer
that it was
23?
on YouTube, you know, like he was doing lives on YouTube and stuff like that. He was
Yeah.
talking about it. He was starting to do a little teaching, but it was that was May, and then I think by June or July you had to have signed up, or you know, that's when they sort of said, okay, we're collecting money, and if you're in, you're in. If you're not, you're
Right.
not. Well,
Right.
that's just like a year and a half.
Yeah, not very long ago at
So
all. And we have
no,
half as many members, if you will. The
yes.
community's half the size and in much less time.
Yeah, yeah, because it's taken SubTo 3 years to get to, you know, 12.7, and it's taken Gator a year and a half to get to 7.5.
Yeah.
So that is really remarkable. Because
Yeah.
out of the two, I think that most people would say SubTo, you know, like,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know,
having being privileged enough, you and I, to be a part of both of them and know the inside of each piece.
mhm,
When people ask me the difference in the two, because some people think they're comparable, and they're not. They're
no,
complementary, but
right,
they're not comparable.
right. Yeah, very
So
different.
yeah, so I always share. Well, SubTo is real estate and so much more,
Mhm.
and Gator is transactional funding and some more, but truly not the
Exactly.
same.
Good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Good way of putting it. So I'm kind of curious to see what people are thinking. What do you think it's going to be by the time we get to April 23rd, which is the Squad Upsummit?
The numbers, you mean?
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know. There's got to be if we are 12.7 strong right now, I can certainly see us 1,000 ahead and more. Maybe even as far as 14 by then. Who knows? It's possible, I believe.
Yeah. Well, let's think about it. 4 to 12. We'll be bigger than that.
Yeah, because that's on like 1,300 more, right?
Right. We'll be
Yeah.
bigger than that. I think that we're probably going to be closer to 16, 17, that sort of thing. What do you
Very
guys
possible.
think? Those of you who are near a computer and can drop a number to tell us, what do you think we're going to be at in April, the end of April, actually, for SubTo? How many people do you think are going to be in by then? Because it's not slowing down.
No, it certainly isn't. And how many of those people who will be new between now and then, they're going to miss the opportunity to do this April event because it will be well underway and sold out.
Oh, sure.
That's going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah. I think it will sell out pretty quickly. So, and I also have to wonder about a year from now.
It's crazy even to think what it will be.
Yeah, I really wonder. Do you think that we're going to have hit over 20?
I wouldn't be surprised at all. It'd be really cool to see a graph of just what that growth has been. I mean, we're looking at it in the years view, but what if we saw a graph that showed? I'm sure they have one in Manifesto. I bet they have a graph of monthly or weekly, even daily growth. I bet they have that.
I would think that they do, and if they don't, New Reach does.
Yeah, I'm sure they have all that. It'd be cool to see something like that, just to watch the growth.
Yeah, it would be very interesting for sure. Yep, for sure. Oh, thank you, Pansy. You're such a doll.
Pansy, hi.
Pansy's so sweet. So
yes, she is.
Thank you, Pansy. You're very kind. Yeah, it's interesting to think of how big it's going to be. And the other thing that I reflect on is when I started, now, you know how it is, there's so much that comes at you. You don't really know what you're missing. Like, you just know that hose is so big.
Full blast.
Yeah. And that you're getting, you're drowning in a way, but you're not really quite sure about what's not hitting you, like what you're missing. But I'm kind of curious to see, because you've been in longer, from the time that you came in to now, what sort of things would you say are new or that were introduced since you joined, like new aspects of SubTo?
So like moving just from so when I joined, it was basically creative, and wholesaling was in there, of course, but creative was the deal. But since then, there's been so much more. So with the addition of Gator, of course, separate, but it was in addition to what we were experiencing before.
Yeah.
And then with this new business buying opportunities that he's doing now, that he's added into SubTo as a bonus, completely separate. That's why I say that SubTo is real estate and so much more. Is the price tag to get in higher? Of course, but aren't we blessed with?
Actually, it's not higher than it's higher than when we got in.
Yeah, higher than when we got in, and not as high as many others.
Yeah, come on. I just joined one that was, I don't even want to talk about it.
Well, and the fact that we don't, that you got to do something really stupid to get kicked out, that's kind of a blessing. I don't think people realize that too when they look.
Yeah.
This is a segue, but I mean, we're going sideways, but I can say this. I have some other mentorship stuff in my behind me. It's all a journey for us, and everything that we do helps us to grow into who we are right now. So I didn't have any trash behind me for what I did. But comparatively speaking to the things that I had my hands on, I've had some really good mentors pour into me also, but it doesn't compare to what this is. I think Pace coins it perfectly when he calls this a community, which makes you think more along the lines of family versus a mentorship.
Yeah.
I don't believe that everybody truly comprehends what he's trying to say when he says that. Yep.
I do agree on that. And when he says it belongs to all of us, that we've grown it all.
Yes.
Hey, Sherry, nice to see you. Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I think that it is very unique because it also has kind of a mission, which is to make sure that everyone succeeds as much as possible, and to also change the way things are done.
Yes.
So that part is pretty cool. Whether it's in, one of the other things that had come along that I hadn't been aware of before I really joined was midterm. I had known about short term and of course long term, the burr, that's been around forever. But midterm was kind of new to me. I hadn't heard of it. So
Yeah.
was it in there when you started? Like, Anisha
I
has been interested in it, and that's putting a huge light on it. But when you first started, was
I don't think so. Because, you know, like you said, Tanisha has this big light shining on it.
right.
I believe that we know it existed before because I even have family members who are part of that nursing industry, traveling stuff. So
Mhm.
we know it has been in existence for some time,
Oh,
but
sure.
I don't remember it being spoken about as an educational direction before.
Right.
Short term, yes, but not midterm. So it was really kind of a blessing when Tanisha found out what her calling or gifting is and
Yep.
how she could utilize her previous employment experience and you know your life behind you
Mhm.
folds into what you want to do, and for her to bring it to such a level, I think has been pretty incredible.
Yeah, I agree. And I really wonder, like, with people that have come in, what have they been surprised about? What sort of things are they seeing that they hadn't really thought of before, or things that kind of said, "Oh, I hadn't thought about that part." Land buying, buying land,
Mhm.
and also storage. I went to almost every single one of those Zooms for storage, and I
Yep.
still want to do storage. Definitely about that. So, hey, Melissa, nice to see you.
Hi, Melissa.
But the thing is that, hey, Nicole, um, the things that came as a surprise to me more recently,
Uh-huh.
RV buying. Buying
Yeah.
RVs and RV parks
You
and
know, in
glass.
my area, when I think of RV park, where I live, this may not be true everywhere, but when I think of an RV park, no, mobile home park. When I think of a mobile home park, around here, they're not the best kind of place you want to be.
Oh,
So, I mean, I know there are some nice ones, especially the ones who are designed for like over 55 living. But here in my area, when you see it happening, a mobile home park, they're typically run down,
mm,
typically a class of people that maybe you don't want to be your renters, especially in an environment. I'm in a state, it's land that's not landlord friendly. So to own a mobile home park here might not be like it might be stupid on several levels. Uh, but so I was impressed, I guess, to have a different viewpoint of what an RV park or a mobile home park might be versus what my experience is here in my own neighborhood.
right, right. It is interesting how it makes you think differently about
Mhm.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Also, the whole concept of being able to buy paper, I don't recall that being discussed that much, notes.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, interesting. Wraps. All that sort of stuff it didn't seem to be talked about and taught about that much at the very beginning when I joined. And,
Mhm.
when you go back the full 3 years, heck, it was such a small group. They were probably only learning how to do, like SubTo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, we so understand understanding. Yep. And
Yeah, it's
RV
true.
parking. Yep. So it's very different than RV park and
Oh,
mobile home
totally
park.
different.
Oh yeah. And what are the other things that have been different that have come along? Co-living, of course. Duh.
Yep, co-living,
Co-living.
welcome, pad split and like the one you were connected to or familiar with. So there's
Right.
been so many different things. I'm amazed, I guess, every time he throws something new in here. And the amazement is not that there's something new, but that there's not a price tag attached to the something new. That it's all just a piece. We're an ever
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
growing.
because we haven't even mentioned multifamily.
Yes.
Goodness, multifamily, I mean, like, Pace had to go learn about multifamily,
Mhm.
when he went and studied it, and then later he met, Vina and
Yep.
connected with Vina on that, and doing, the whole thing about, funds and funds of funds and
Yeah.
syndication and all that stuff. I mean, I actually had heard a lot of those words because my, um my ears were open when my then husband was at the Harvard Business School. So
Mhm.
real estate was one of those things that they talked about. And I was aware of it, but not like I am now. I
Yeah.
hadn't been paying as much attention as I do now. So it's interesting, to see exactly how many different things have come into sub two, like subbing a car. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Sherry, thanks for bringing that up because that's true too. How many motorhomes or cars have we seen people getting? Daniel Quijano getting a big a traveling RV thing.
With his little pups.
It's the Yorkie mobile.
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. That's funny.
And
Um,
also, here's something that evolved that was not in here when I joined, and the nightly dial was not present when I joined. It's
Interesting.
something, yeah, it came about. So daily dial, yes, but not the nightly dial.
Interesting. Very interesting. And now they even have like regional and the power hours, right? Thanks to Jeff Smith,
Yeah.
starting in Chicago. Yep, buying businesses. But it's interesting to see that now, if you want to do calls, and if you, come in and you have energy and you have money and you have not money. If you don't have money and you have energy and you have determination, you can just go and be with a bunch of people and learn how to do those calls. That's
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
Oh, incredible. I don't think
yeah.
that happens in most. I guess that is one of the pluses about this particular community getting so excessive is the wrong word, but just to paint a picture of the largeness of it all, a group that is as big as we are affords the opportunity to have a smaller sub, if you will, group meeting in all these different areas. How many places or mentorships give you the opportunity to gather in your home city with some other people in the same group that you're in? So I think that's hugely impressive. And hey, look, wherever we go, we are sure to have someone we can call family to call up and say, hey, let's have dinner. There might even be a place to stay. What the point here is, we really are family in this group, is what I think is really important.
I experienced that when I went to Dealmaker weekend in New Jersey,
Mhm.
and they had, I don't know, was it a tornado? I can't remember what it was that came along. I think it was a tornado, and it shut down everything. And we were, my flight was that night. So I went to the airport and they canceled everything. I thought, okay, I'm just going to sit here till they open it.
Now you're homeless.
Yeah. Really homeless and a little scary. And then the sirens started going off. So they wanted everybody out. And I was like, what the heck am I going to do?
Mhm.
And I was kind of at a loss for maybe 3 or 4 minutes. And then I was like, wait. I have a phone and I've got people.
Yes.
I started posting in SubTo.
Yeah.
Stuck in New Jersey. I don't have a place to go. Can anybody help me?
And I don't think I've heard you tell this story before. So how many people responded?
Quite a few. But the interesting thing is, I was like, okay, let's see. Long Island. Let me think. I've been to Long Island, but where am I now? Thinking about looking it up. And I'm like, no. That will take way too much money to get there,
Mhm.
and too far. And a lot of traffic was building up because
Yeah.
the airport was being shut down. So I was like, okay, that one's out. Then I was,
But
it was,
you had options.
I had lots of options. I had Jasper. Jasper says, come stay with me. I said, Jasper, because Jasper and I have the same birthday. I was like, you would do that? Because he's a young guy. He goes, yeah. And then a few minutes later, he goes, maybe I won't do that. I'm like, what did I do? And he says, no, it's my girlfriend. I didn't even know he had a girlfriend he was living with at that time. If I'd known he had a girlfriend that he was living with, I would have said, you have to ask your girlfriend. But I didn't know. So she was like, what old lady? What are you talking about? So it's so funny. I had a whole bunch of people that reached out, and every time I looked, thank you, Nicole. SubTo definitely saved the day, because I ended up maybe about an hour thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Where am I going to be? And one of the guys that was still at the hotel, Leslie, was such a gentleman. He was following it, but he hadn't said anything yet. And then he's like, come back to the hotel. And I was like, well, it's close to the airport, but
Mhm.
what am I going to do? Be on the floor? And he says, no, you can have my room. And I was like, it's one thing to be in an apartment and this, and
Have a room.
you have, you're on the couch. Another thing, like in a hotel room where we're getting, like he's a big guy.
Mhm.
And so he says, no, I'm going to go and stay with one of the other guys and you'll get my room. And
Oh, what a blessing was that?
I know. I was like, that is so, it made me cry. And I was so relieved. I was, phew.
Yes.
And then by the time I got there, there was another person who needed it. And that was Julie Voss. So Julie stayed with me. We both stayed in that hotel room and the
Mhm.
guys, they camped together. And the next morning they were telling us Thursday. They were saying like it's going to be a few days before we
no.
can get out. So we just went and rented a car. We ended up renting a Jeep.
And now this part, I remember some of your stories. You're traveling.
It was high up, and the floods were still coming down, and we drove all the way from
I remember your stories. Yeah.
all the
Fun,
way
fun.
to
And
Chicago.
still rotten weather. Yes.
Yes, and still rotten weather. And then the next morning, it was light enough that Julie could get on a flight and go to Denver. It was crazy. But yes, I agree. I think that knowing that if somebody's in trouble and that they post, that someone will step up.
Yeah.
And especially now, because then it was maybe 9,000.
Uh-huh.
And now we're up to 12,000.
Yeah.
Especially if Pace says something, like
Mhm.
who's stepping up? Come on.
Yeah. Well, and there's enough. We spend quite a bit of time together in a Zoom. So, hey, see ya. We spend quite enough time in a Zoom where that we have an opportunity, whether it's in the chat or whether Pace is talking to someone, whatever it is, we have an opportunity to get a sense along the line of what kind of person someone is. Just, sometimes you just see a picture, you don't know anything, but we have the occasion to connect with the people on the phone or in the chat, and sometimes even get the privilege of seeing them spotlighted and conversating with Pace and the rest of us. So we're not only just a bunch of faces, is what I'm saying.
Right.
We're
And
having the opportunity to build relationships.
Meetups, that makes a big difference.
Yeah, huge difference.
So for sure, I agree. Hello, Shane. Nice to see you. Someone, I think it was Nicole, who was asking, who are the best of the best in the AI automation? Well, my understanding is that Shane is involved. So, whoops, Nicole, I know someone that has a bomb automation system at an awesome price. Bomb automation? Why are you guys talking about bomb automations? Oh, a bomb. Okay. Sorry about that, Pansy. Yeah. It's funny when some of the words that I hear, like when I was teaching ESL and one of the kids came in and he thought he was using English so well, right? He's like, oh, they called me Effie. They were like, oh, Effie, today's lesson was so sick. And I was like, if you're going to say it, you have to say sick, high pitch, okay? Because if you say sick, it means
that sounds bad.
And he's like, what? Thought I was getting somewhere with English.
That's
So
funny.
it's kind of funny. Yeah. When you said it's a bomb automation system, I was like, okay.
We don't need to automate
bombs. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. And the other thing I wonder is the future. Aw. Nana. That's funny. My granddaughter, I'm saying grandma to my granddaughter. But when she gets older, I'm going to let her call me Yaya, which is in Greek. And she's learned her first Greek word. Her first Greek word is palamakia. Palamakia. That means let's do the clapping. Clapping. So I'm like, weird word. And it's not an easy one, but there it is. She's got her first word. But yeah, I wonder the sort of things that are going to come down the pike for us. Like I never would have imagined, notes and raps and multifamily and syndication and funds of funds and all that. What else is going to come?
I don't know. It's kind of frightening to think all not in a bad way. All of the stuff that you don't have time to learn. Like, oh my God, I haven't even got a
I
handle.
know.
on
I need a partner. I need an integrator. I need somebody who
here
does
comes
this
something
thing.
new.
And social media, because you think I would have ever imagined, having a podcast?
Hey, you're doing a great job. You are out there. I have some of the stuff, but none of it's in operation. So how much good is it if you're not utilizing it? I have a YouTube and I've done a few interviews, recorded variety. I haven't done anything live. So thank you very much, Effie, for inviting me to your podcast today and allowing me to be the backstop for the whatever events transpired that prevented your previous guest from showing.
Well, I'm very happy that you're here. And guys, if you don't know, Robin is on IG and she's also on YouTube. So do definitely support her. She deserves the support. She's a very important part of the community.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for, like I said, anyone who's thinking of doing a podcast, make sure that you understand that these things can happen sometimes and that you should make sure you have, I hadn't thought I have to have a backup, but when I realized, it's not going to happen. What am I going to do?
Right.
And I just sort of thought, well, let me see. And ta-da.
I'll be your resident backup. When things fall through, just call Robin.
Justin Timanowski has said that to me too.
Thank you, Vince. Hey, I did one of my interviews with Justin, and like I said, I have yet to post the interviews that I did, and they will be completely uncut because I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So they'll be as they are. And thank you, Nicole. And I'll drop those in there at some point. But Justin was one of my interviews, and I have to say, it felt the most relaxed, and he's an excellent guest. So if you've had him on your show before, but he is an excellent guest. I really do love and appreciate. He's supporting me in a different avenue, as you well know. He and his team have been a part of a small thing that I'm doing midweek with just a handful of people, just encouraging one another. And he decided for his team that they would also be, hello, Donabella, they would also be helping me in my quest. So I am extremely and forever apprecitive for him.
He's a huge giver.
Oh, huge, huge. I do love him. Huge. And I had the privilege of meeting his wife at the summertime.
She's the bomb.
Yes.
Now we're using the word correct. I'm using the word correctly. Yep, for sure. I want to go to something Anthony is saying, because I think that was interesting. When I was asking about what do you guys think is going to come down the pike, what sort of things do you think that we're going to learn about? And, Anthony seems, to feel strongly that Section 8 is the future. Now, Section 8 was definitely in when I joined. Were they talking about Section 8 when you had started, Robin?
I don't believe anything was being taught about it, but I believe it. I've heard it in there. And I believe Anthony there's something to be said for Section 8. It's for people who are in states like ours, or mine rather, where it's not friendly, to the landlord opportunity. At least that Section 8 is a guaranteed rent. And I could be way off base, but I kind of think that in those states, that's when you don't have to be fearful of having a tenant, because it's the rent is guaranteed. So I think that's a really great place to have it.
Yep. You must be in California then, Anthony, are you? Because he says you don't have to worry about getting paid in California.
Now, who pays in California when squatters are there if it's not Section 8?
No. Squatters and Section 8 are very different.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So I think he's saying
the same thing applies.
So Anthony, are you saying that if you do Section 8 in California, you don't need to worry about being paid, that the government takes good care of it? Is that what you're saying? Why do people call me ma'am? Am I really that old? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
think
the same viewpoint.
that's a good thing. And yeah, Donabella Section 8 is a good thing to have after residential assisted living and midterm. Okay, that is a really good flow you're talking about there. Good for you.
I
You know,
am personally connected to a lady who has nothing to do with us. They're quite affluent, and they have started recently. The first house they started, and they have another one coming, was first designed to house a few people, and they all had eating disorders. They
oh,
quickly transitioned into most of their clients are mentally affected in some way, schizophrenia or something. So, but it's just a house with just a few people. And of course, that is government funded as well.
mhm.
And so, just like Donabella is saying, that residential assisted living, be it elderly, be it mental disorders, whatever it is, those are also arenas in which you can still get paid and quite handsomely.
Mhm. Yeah. And you know, the thing about Section 8 is I didn't realize I was small minded.
Mhm.
All I knew is Section 8, you know, was welfare. At least that's what I equated it to.
Mhm.
And I thought, oh, they're going to be trouble. But I have spoken to people who do Section 8 and who do it very well. Yeah, that's true, Anthony. Even during COVID, they
Yeah.
definitely got paid. You know, and that explained that you can be very picky when you're doing Section 8 because so many people want to get into a nice place that if you have a nice place, you can have them lining up around the block sort of thing. And you
Yeah.
can, you know, like they're out
Mhm.
if they cause trouble and they lose their vouchers and things like that. And I'm like, well, if they took good care of it,
Mhm.
that would be good. And that, you know, when they find a place that they like, they want their kids to have a stable environment. They're not likely to just give it up.
I
So it's
think
like,
it's easy for us to take a stereotypical picture of what we once recognized a family having to rely on the system, but
mhm,
it's not always true. Of course, there of course are those people who, in any section of life, who are not going to take care of your property. But I think you buy different.
true.
You buy differently also when your viewpoint is Section 8. It's not like you want to buy trash, but maybe you're not going to be having marble countertops and all of the extra stuff that you would get for a homestead buyer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rentals are done differently than flips for homestead buyers. So I think it's a great secure avenue for rental. And I'd never even given any thought before really, but I think it's probably the way that you know, California, Oregon, and Washington, those would all be safe states to have that kind of property in when you don't have to be concerned.
Right. I agree. I agree. And, you know, it's kind of hard to imagine. Julie's so cute. Thank you, Julie. Nice to see
Hi,
you.
Julie.
Yeah. So we're talking about what sort of things might come along in SubTo and how it has changed since we started. You know, this whole huge array of things that we are being taught now that was not there when we first joined. It's huge. It's huge, and I do think it's good that PACE is structuring it after the educational model. You know, to think about taking.
Oh, I love the scholastic viewpoint that he's
Yeah,
going on right
yeah,
now.
yeah, to be able to focus on certain veins of, you know, courses and
Hmm.
be able to go that way because it gives it some structure. It
Yep.
gives it structure. And, you know, although we talk about, you know, putting on the blinders and not being squirrels, I think Pace is one of the biggest squirrels.
I think he's a giant squirrel.
He just, yes, he's a giant squirrel and he just gets to go wherever he wants and do whatever he wants. And we just all follow him,
Yeah.
you know, but it is hard to keep your eyes on one thing.
Yes.
So by taking courses, like choosing which ones you're going to go on and actually getting badges or whatever they're going to be
Well,
called.
and pointed specific education or direction on that specific topic. We'll see how he does it'll be taught by others in some regard, I'm sure. We'll see how the rabbit trail stuff happens. So
Yeah, that's true.
they'll be more confined to a timeline. You know, Pace can talk to us and we'll listen for as long as he talks. So when these classes are happening, they'll be probably, I'm guessing, a bit more regimented and focused, and different people doing the teaching. And I'm kind of excited about that too, because to be perfectly honest, and I'm just talking about me, I don't know what the heck I'm going to be good, what I'm good at. Avatar. I don't know who I am yet. So I have to, that sounds sad. I've been around all this time and I don't feel.
It's not sad because there's so much choice.
Yes.
So how exciting is it that you have choice?
Yeah, we have choices. That's splendid. I need to be like this, you know, where I just can't see on either side. And focus in on something and do it. I feel like I got to put my hands on every little piece to find out what sticks or what feels good or what I'm good at. So anyway, it is tough figuring out who you are. There's so much.
It is. And you're making working on your business. Well, this is part of my business, Anthony. Sorry. I have learned from from Pace and from Abraham that I didn't want to do this at the beginning. Actually, I was going to do it, but I was going to do it sometime around now, and they pushed me. Mm-hmm. So they pushed me to get started. So, it does go well with my connector abilities because I do have a lot of connections, and that's good. Mm-hmm. But I'm also, I've got the blinders on. I'm thinking co-living as well as the business I'm starting a business and all that, which I won't go into now because we're going to have a January 10th. Know you what the FE people are watching. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah. But I wonder what sort of things are going to come along that are going to be so amazing that you're going to have to say, I got to take that in. I got to take that in.
I'm sure we can't count the number of things that will be coming.
Yeah, I can't imagine them. I know that Pace is imagining them, and I'm glad that they're going to be structured as courses. He said he hired a educational specialist, so if that person is strong enough to stand up and Pace listens to them, then the structure will come. Yeah. Don't be a squirrel. Yeah. You know what? I'm a squirrel with laser focus. I'm just kidding. But it is interesting to see that what it would look like in a year. Because remember now, before, the numbers have been growing like crazy. But, like if we had 700 in a Zoom, we were all like, wow. But now a lot of times it's well over 1,000, so the numbers are growing so much. How is it that he's going to actually be able to give value to so many extra people? Mm-hmm. Well, he's made it pretty clear. He's gathering the people who have been in for a while and, who have been in for a couple of years and who have a lot of, assets, and moving them to the front of the class and then turning them around and saying, teach.
Now you teach. Yeah.
So now he's duplicating himself.
Yes.
Instead of just Pace, being the only leader. We do have Tanisha. We do have Kevin. We've got Ingrid. We've got like so many people. I shouldn't have even said those names because there's so many that are really strong that, we can lean on them. Like I'm not doing midterm, but if I was doing midterm, I'd be right with Tanisha, and I have followed her, her YouTube a fair amount. I've liked it. I've thought it was pretty good, and she knows her stuff. Yep. So now we have a lot of Pace clones for sure. So it is a positive thing. And I think it's going to allow us to be able to go from 12 to 30, or I don't know. Will it ever stop?
I don't know that it will. I don't think he has any intention of stopping it because as big as and overwhelming as it can feel to see that number rise, and you may fall into a space that says, how can he give me any attention if there are 13 other thousand people here? But it's so encouraging to see him pull people up and kind of give them a little highlight and let the rest of us know who they are as individuals. We get to see a little bit more of them when he has a conversation with them. And then as we venture out and get into these smaller groups that are available to us, and we get to know all these other people who all become family to us, I think we really have a genuine thing here that so many others do not have. I only wish that I would have started here instead of ended up here. The benefit about ending up here versus starting here in SubTo, I mean, is that I can make a genuine, true comparison to where I have what is available out there and what we have now, and they truly don't compare. All good stuff, but not comparable.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there is no comparison, none at all. And I think that you don't need anything else, that's for sure. But kind of did it the other way around. Live and learn.
And when I see people asking about SubTo, I manage an email for the team, and so I sometimes get questions in there about SubTo, mostly property stuff, but I always tell them to get into the free Facebook group and communicate with other people who either are there or who want to be there. Don't take I don't think Pace wants anyone to take his word for it necessarily. He will spout about how great it is because it is. But when you hear it from the guru, if you will, then people just perceive that as someone selling or pushing their product or their course. So go look for other people who are in it, who are there. Come talk to myself, come talk to Effie, come talk to any number of us who are listening today. Communicate with any of us and learn about what we think is positive. And that is enough to make you want to buy something. Reviews, like when you buy a product, reviews.
Yeah, I agree. Because I tend to tell it like I see it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I do tell people that when you come in, it's so nice now that Pace has got the Melissa Palmer with the vetting process.
Oh, that's huge opportunity.
Yeah, huge because, I say still to this moment because it's just getting started. There are snakes, just like there are going to be snakes anywhere else. And, don't get bitten by a snake. If you get bitten by a snake, you're in trouble.
Well, it would be foolish for anyone to pop into something such as this and believe that everything was 100%, that every person was 100% walking in integrity. Of course, there are those people who want to pop in here, learn what they can, and share it with others. Get their own little system going. So I think it's just important, like Melissa's doing, verify, trust maybe, but verify. Don't hand anybody any of your money. Don't take anybody's word for it. If you're going to work with somebody, make sure you have JV agreements. All of those things are so huge, and Pace will tell you that straight up. So
that's true.
He said in the mastermind we were at together, Effie, where there are gardens, there are sure to be snakes. We have a big, nice garden.
Yep, we do.
Of course, there's going to be people who are not 100% walking in integrity.
Right. Totally. Yeah. So Anthony, you're lucky that you're in with Dave. Dave's a cool person. He's very interesting.
Oh, he's awesome. I like him too.
Very good guy. And, Julie's singing his praises too. And I think that, it's 13 of us and some are bound to not be good people. Yep. That's totally true.
For real. That's for certain.
Yep. That's true.
Hey, in regard to Medium Wave Dave, when I had somebody reach out to me about actually they didn't reach out to me. I saw someone in a different forum talking about a problem that they were having with a New York property. And Dave was the first person that came to my mind about who could I ask questions of. And even though this opportunity did not go anywhere, I was really very pleased this kind of goes right back to what we're talking about before in the community that we have. People, if they know who you are, if you've made yourself known in the chats, people do business with what? People they know, like, and trust.
There you go.
Show up in these chats, ask questions, make people know who you are, go to meetups, let people know who you are. Are you going to be looking for money for someday? Well, you don't just come plop your hand in front of somebody asking for some money if you haven't even figured out what their freaking name is. So
it happens.
It happens. I know it. And I'm saying, for crying out loud, people, when you want something, relationship is key. Let's let people know us, like us, and trust us so they want to work with us.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I totally agree. Totally agree. Yep, for sure. And I think that as things get set up a bit more for, people who want to borrow, that will become, more evident.
Yeah.
I'm going through the vetting process that Melissa has, albeit slowly. It's my fault because I got so much stuff going on.
So you're having yourself vetted for. Oh, cool. I think that's really a huge thing she's doing. I can't wait to see how it works, how it all unfolds.
Yeah, because I have been a lender. I'd like to lend again.
Mm-hmm.
But when, people come to me and they ask to borrow money, I want to look at the deal, but I also want to look at their track record.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say, okay, well, look, here's my vetting. Here who I am, who you're going to be borrowing from, so you know.
Yeah.
And where's yours?
Mm-hmm. Well,
If
because
I vet
myself,
speech, then you should vet yourself too.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think also that when it comes to borrowing, you want to make sure you know who you're borrowing, who you're borrowing from, because there are some people that I wouldn't want to borrow from, period. Yeah. So
I love that. The pasteboard. I think that's cute.
Yeah, that is awfully cute. So I do think that, that's kind of how it goes for me, so unless I've already lent to you, because I had someone I have lent to, and he says, well, now, should I go get myself vetted again? And I was like, I know you now.
Yeah.
But yeah, because the other thing is true, just like Donabella said, I will be a future borrower also. It's not like I have a lot of money. I only have, and so therefore, it would be good to take it seriously and to, go through the vetting process.
Yeah.
It'd be nice. It'd be really nice if we could have that added on as a cost to our membership.
Yeah.
Like, you want to come into SubTo, here's the amount that it costs for the membership. And by the way, we vet everybody and it's going to cost you that much more. But if you want to come in, you can come in.
Yeah.
If you don't want to vet it, it's part of the package. Because I got an idea. A lot of those people who are ill intent would be like,
sheep's in wolf clothing. Those guys, they might not come in.
Yes. And if they did, I would expect that a lot of them, if not every one of them, would be spotlighted. So I think that would be, that just came to me now. And I think it's genius.
Yeah.
No, I don't. But
if you do, say so yourself.
Yeah. I can say whatever I want here.
It's your show.
Yeah. Vet them first. If they could be vetted first, it would be so much easier on everybody.
And let's not forget.
You know what? If New Reach said that's our policy tomorrow, a lot of people would not apply. They would say, "Oh,
that's a possibility." They might have to give some credence to such a thing. Maybe not the entire deep process that Mel's doing, but maybe so. I mean, I think it's definite key ingredient to recognizing who we're working with. And it's true that some people are going to have a bit of a past. That doesn't make them negative now, but you can see in their past when they're getting vetted, how far ago was such a thing. Don't hold their past against them.
And is it once or is it
over and over again?
4 times? Yeah. Yeah. So Anthony, I think that you don't have to have borrowed to be vetted. It's got to do with the history that you're presenting. Because people say, like I say, I don't say it much, but people know I've been a teacher. And I haven't said it very often, but I have a degree in education. So, the thing is that when I'm being vetted, I would expect that would be checked,
Mhm.
so are you who you say you are? Background.
Yeah.
But anyhow, it's all good. And I think that at the beginning, it probably wasn't as necessary, although there were people who ended up, in prison because of doing bad things, and who hurt a lot of people way back yonder, even when they were smaller. But I think that we have kind of gone up that curve, and now we're going to see less of it. At least I hope. I hope that it's going to be better for sure. Hello, Greco.
Hey, Greco.
So, yeah, that's what I'm expecting as far as what we can see. That'll be a little bit different depending on when you started.
Mhm.
Whether you can, there's a system in place, and people say, well, I know that I can, you know, um, okay, sorry, never mind. I just got thrown off. I remember I said turn the phone down. I should have said turn it over. Sorry. Yeah. Anyhow, so I think that will be a welcomed improvement. So yeah, but I love the way that we have grown and how different it has become from way
Mhm.
yonder. And I'm going to ask the question again, guys. We are now at 12:07. What do you think we're going to be at by, let's say, next Christmas? Drop your number. Let's guess and see how many people do you think we're going to have in SubTo in a year from now? I kind of wonder how many people are there going to be? Oh, Mario is saying 15. Really? 15? We're going to hit to 15 before April.
Yeah, I say 17. I'm going to say 17.
17? I'm going to go more with Greco.
Yeah,
Yeah,
25? Think so?
25, maybe even 30.
Well, when you start to consider the number of 17, 3, 5, 6, the number of people sharing it, as long as it grows bigger, then of course those people share it with those people. So you're probably right for sure. I mean, I said 17, but you're probably closer to right.
200. Okay, but not by next Christmas.
Yeah, at some point.
Let me see.
So we'll have to review the Christmas timeframe episode next year.
Oh yeah, did we meet the numbers?
Yeah, to see
Or
what the numbers are.
Who hit it on and who didn't, right? Yeah, I think that since, I don't know, what is it per month? We'll have to figure it out per month and see, how fast it's growing for sure.
It would be interesting to see that. What is the growth every month?
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thank you for coming, everyone. And it says, oh, I thought it was you meant subscribers to to my channel? Oh, yeah. Thank you for reminding me, Anthony. I keep forgetting. If you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe. I could use more subscribers. No, my number is 1.2. I think I'm at 1. I hit over 1,000 a while ago. I was shocked.
Yay.
That's why I got this mic. It was a gift to myself. And I'm now at 1.26. So I guess my next goal would be 2.
Yeah, I'm over 1,000 on Instagram. And that was kind of a little bit of a monumental moment. I wasn't even making an effort or watching so much, but then that last 25 or people that were coming in, getting it close, said, oh yeah, 1,000. The YouTube is much, much less, of course, since it hasn't been active, but there is someone there.
Yeah, I've kind of slowed down a little bit on my IG. Where does it tell us how many we have? I don't know. I think I have maybe 1,000. I don't know. Oh, I've got a little bit more than I have on YouTube. It's 1.4. So, yeah. That's funny. That's hysterical. Anyhow, well, thank you guys. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, blah, blah. Oh, and you know, the thing that makes the biggest difference, and I think that this you could do, is just go ahead and say something in the, thank you, Jeremy, in the comments. If you could leave a comment thanking Robin, or, you know, talking about whether you agree or disagree about the numbers, anything. That's apparently as important as subscribers. Who knew?
Who knew?
Yeah, and I don't seem to care too much about it. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I want to care. And yet, oh, thank you, John. Yeah, Merry Christmas for sure.
Yes, Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yes.
I mean, we're now on the we're on the
and
home
by the
stretch
way,
now.
thank you for reminding me. Yes, I should post this as a comment. We will not be, I'm not going to be having, okay. Yes. Thank you, John. You're a doll. Let me see how I'm going to do this. I'm still not good enough to be able to dance around these things, but okay. So, I'm going to wish everyone Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Because we are not going to have the podcast. Those 2 days fall on Monday.
Yeah.
So sorry. On Christmas and on New Year's, we're not going to be having it because we should be with our family.
So
For
my
sure.
Christmas sweater is it's appropriate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your presence in the background and the snowman. Okay, the only thing I have in the background.
A kitty. I saw a kitty.
Oh, he left.
He got bored with the show. Well, we're not exciting enough.
Something like that. So I just want to let you guys know that we'll be coming back on, I think it's January 8th is the day, and it's going to be with one of my biggest.
Are you telling?
No, not yet. You know, my biggest guess, and he's not in SubTo. So every time I bring someone who's not in SubTo, I feel like, okay, I'm breaking, you know, like I'm getting in the world. So
yes, breaking outside of the SubTo bubble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I love the bubble, but it's very good to bring other people into.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'll be there in Donabella. That'll be nice. And so will Robin. Yay!
Yes. I just bought my ticket, so I'm looking forward to going. Yeah, I was kind of on the fringe. Do I buy one? Do I not buy one? Do I really want to go? Do I not want to go? Can I afford to go? Can I not afford to go? Yeah, I'll figure all that out later. Just bought it and make it work.
That's right. Okay, we're going to say goodbye. We're going to sign off, and we shall see you in the new year.
Bye all.
And guys, thank you for being with us very, very much.
Thanks for participating, everyone. Bye for now.